Hello, folks. I'm Ed Overstreet. Welcome to the Night Sky Imaging channel. I thought I would cover how I manage my images. And I made a whole lot of mistakes when I first started out. I saved the results of my imaging to different places, different hard drives. Some were on the desktop, some were on the main C drive. I had external drives that I used for my sports pictures, and some went there. So they were everywhere. And I really never thought about how important that data was going to be down the road as processing software improved. I just did the best I could, looked at my image, uh, and saved it somewhere. Sometimes I didn't save it. But I wish I had access to all of that now, and I probably do. The hard drives haven't been trashed, but finding it is the tough. It requires a couple of days of plugging in hard drives and going through all the folders. So sometime around 2013, 2014, when I got Pix Insight, and I'm not sure when that was, but in that neighborhood, I started organizing my files much better, and I kind of refined that over time. But I went and bought a hard drive, and I designated that hard drive just to be for Astro images. Called it Astro Drive, and I took the year and I made 12 folders. I made a folder for January through December, and so I thought in January. January will hold all the images I took in January and consequently down through the year. And then I would have the following year, I'd start another folder with January all the way through December folders. And so, but what happened is that I was saving everything. I was saving the lights, the darks, the flats. Um, I didn't even really understand how the masters could be used instead of the the list of flats at that time, but I was saving everything, and then I would save the project, and uh, that takes up space. And sometimes I would try two or three different projects on the same image. I saved those projects. So each of those image sets, those data sets, had darks, flats, lights, bias. Then came flat darks, and sometimes I took bias and flat darks to compare. So that 5 terabyte drive didn't last 2 years. It barely lasted the first year. And so I thought, well, I need another hard drive. So now what I do is I'm buying 14 terabyte hard drives now, and I have for the last 3 years. And I use a terabyte for each year. And I just consider that part of the processing expense. And but here's how the folders look. Let me open up. I've got two up now. This is Astro 5, and so for the past 5 years, I've got these high terabyte drives. Not all of them are 14 terabyte, but the last 3 years are. And here's this year's, and so let me take you to another uh, area where I can screen share. And all right, so these are the folders that are currently on this drive. I have some Comet processing techniques because this was the year that we had, I think, sometime in January. I forgot even the name of the comet, but I use a Mac, so I've got different file system than File Explorer, but essentially it's the same. Just looks different. What was that comet's name? Let's see. I know I took some in. Here it is. It was C. Yeah, it was 2023 C 2023 Okay, well, that was the comet, and that wasn't hard. It had some other. What was the whole comet name? Doesn't matter. But while we're on this, this is January, and these are the images I took in January. Here's 2000. This is the prior year, and these are my January images. So, and then I have Astro 3, Astro 2, Astro 1, and Astro, and that's the start drive, the first drive I bought. So, this is how those images are organized, and I can find just about anything now. So let me close out this one. We really don't need it. Only one's necessary. So I had some comet processing, a document that I saved on how to do it. Here's an exposure calculator that I found or I got from somebody, and I saved that. How to a video on how to do mosaic processing anew. Here are my process icons, scripts that I'm using, Bill Blanchard's scripts, and Starnet, and I don't know. Oh, that's a member of our Astro Club. We call him Comet Hunter, but it's Ed Lebatorsky. And then we have that's my backyard in the wintertime, and he came over to look at my stuff. And then we have a Sharp Cap manual. So that's what's in 2003, plus all of the images that I've taken so far this year. And of course, we're in June. We haven't done July. I just go ahead and create those folders. So, and then let's see here. I took images of M101 last night and SN2023 IXF that has the supernova. And so here are my lights, my flats, my darks, and my bias that associate with this. And so I have these with all of my files. And after I process this, and I haven't processed this yet, but when I do in the weighted batch processing script, I'll have masters. I'll have master lights, I'll have a master flat, dark, and bias. I'll come back into this and I will delete these bias frames. I'll just keep the masters. And as I go through the results of PixInsight, if I drizzled, I'll keep the registered files. Otherwise, I just keep the master light, but I do keep all of my lights because I may want to come back and reprocess that again with the master flat, master dark, and master bias frames. So that helps to clean out some of the unnecessary files that will take up a lot of hard drive space. Here are my flats that I took with the two scopes that are currently loaded outside at the observatory, the Edge and the Vixen. And the cameras on it are one's a 183 and one's the 533 mono. So I haven't done a lot so far, but I have been working on M101, and I took the Methuselah star, which is the oldest star in the universe, at 14.6 billion years old. Yes, I know it's older than the universe. Okay, so I thought that might give some folks some ideas on how they may better organize their files. And I also put a label on each hard drive and a name, so that if I want to see data that I took in 2020, then I can go to Astro 2 and I can find it. Depending on what the target is, and targets are pretty much month specific. Some pour over into different months, but for the most part, they're month specific. So you're finishing up Orion in January, and then we start approaching galaxy season, and so it kind of becomes intuitive. At any rate, that's how I find things. That's how I save things, and it's how I save the things that I need if I want to come back and reprocess data. And that happens. Pix Insight comes out with some new stuff. Creative people so smart that are writing these AI programs. Um, Russell Croman and so many others that are blur exterminator and noise exterminator. Aye, aye, aye. And so it makes me want to go back and pull data that I took last year and the year before and reprocess it. And I have been doing that. And it's easy to find. So if you're just getting started, don't make my baby mistakes and save stuff wherever you have available space. Invest in that hard drive. And then if you don't fill it up and if you can put 2 years on it, great. But I image every single night. There's not a cloud. So I get stuff, a lot of stuff. And that's it. I hope this may have helped. Y'all have a good rest of the day and catch you later.